The day my father came back from the woods, we called it a miracle. He had been missing for 3 weeks. Search parties had scoured the state park, the dogs had lost his scent at a creek, and the hope in my mother's eyes had dwindled to a dull, aching ember. Then, one Tuesday, he just walked out of the tree line at the edge of our property. He was thinner, his hunting jacket was torn, and he moved with a strange, deliberate stiffness, but he was alive. We rushed him to the hospital. The doctors were baffled. No major injuries, just severe dehydration and exposure. They sent him home with orders to rest. We were so happy, we didn't question the gaps in his story. He claimed he had no memory of where he'd been, just a blur of trees and darkness. The first sign was the smell. It clung to him, a faint, earthy odor of loam and something else, something metallic and cold, like old wet stone. He claimed it was from being in the woods, but it never faded, no matter how many showers he took. Then there were the mannerisms. My father was a loud, generous man who laughed with his whole body. This man's smile was a slow, careful stretching of lips that never reached his eyes. He'd mimic my father's habits, but they were a half-beat off. He'd pick up a coffee mug with a delicate precision my rough-handed father never possessed. He'd sit for hours, not reading, not watching TV, just staring at the wall as if listening to a distant, fascinating sound. My mother, in her desperate joy, chose to see none of it. "He's traumatized, Eli," she'd say, squeezing my arm. "He just needs time." But I knew the moment I saw him trying to eat. My father loved my mom's spaghetti, would slurp it up with a contented sigh. This thing on the other side of the table pushed the noodles around the plate, its face a mask of detached curiosity. It then lifted a single, twirling forkful to its mouth and chewed with a slow, grinding motion, like a machine processing fuel. I started watching it, this thing that wore my father's face. I saw the way its skin seemed to sit just a little too loosely over the bones beneath, as if it had been stitched on. I saw how it never blinked in a normal rhythm, but would go for minutes without closing its eyes, then blink 3 times in rapid succession. One night, I crept downstairs for a glass of water. It was standing in the middle of the living room in the pitch dark, facing the large picture window that reflected the room. It wasn't looking outside. It was studying its own reflection, its head tilted at an unnatural angle. Its hands were slowly flexing and unflexing, as if it were testing the controls of a complex puppet. Our eyes met in the glass. A slow, terrible smile spread across its face, my father's face. It was a smile of pure, unadulterated possession. It was not the smile of a man who was glad to be home. It was the smile of a thing that had found a warm, comfortable place to nest. I fled back to my room, my heart trying to batter its way out of my chest. The final confrontation happened in my father's study. I found it at his desk, not going through papers, but just running its fingers over the grain of the wood, over the leather of the chair, with a sensual, intimate familiarity that made my skin crawl. "It's a good fit," it said, its voice a near-perfect copy of my father's, but with a faint, rasping undertone, like dry leaves skittering over concrete. It didn't turn to look at me. "Where is he?" I demanded, my voice trembling with a fury that overpowered my fear. "Where is my father?" It slowly turned its head, the motion too fluid, too boneless. The eyes that met mine were the color of my father's, but they were deep, stagnant pools. There was no soul behind them. He is the warmth I feel in this skin. He is the memory of laughter in these vocal cords. He is the love that still echoes in this heart. I am wearing him, boy, all of him, and I am learning. It stood up and took a step towards me. The smell of damp earth and cold stone grew stronger, filling the small room. "You can't have this," I said, backing away. "It is not a matter of having," it replied, its smile returning, a cruel, practiced imitation of paternal affection. "It is a matter of being. I am your father now, and you will learn to love me as you loved the man whose face I wear. It is the only way you get to keep any part of him at all." It reached out a hand, my father's hand, to touch my cheek. I recoiled, but the truth of its words was a cold knife in my gut. To expose it would be to destroy my mother, to destroy the last fragile shell of the life we had. It saw the surrender in my eyes. "Good," it said, the word a soft, final verdict. It turned back to the desk, dismissing me. We will be a family again. And now I sit at the dinner table, forcing a smile as the thing that wears my father's face asks me about my day. I look at my mother, beaming with reclaimed happiness, and I play my part. I answer its questions. I pass it the salt. I live in the suffocating silence of the truth, trapped in a house with a ghost that isn't a ghost, a monster that has stolen not just a body, but the very memory of a man, and is slowly, patiently teaching us how to love it.